Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm here to tell you about Bailey's full story. So if you want to know more, then keep on watching. So Bailey is a 18-month-old American Bulldog mix. His original owners are good friends of mine, and they had to relocate to their home country back in August. So when they were doing this, they were obviously going to take Bailey with them. And what they told me was that it was hard to find an airline to transport him all the way there. So, to make it easier on him, they found a direct flight from Montreal. So, all they had to do was get him to Montreal. So, they drove from Calgary to Montreal for 3 days straight. And when they got to the airport, the airline there refused for Bailey to get on the flight. The reason they refused for Bailey to get on the flight was because Bailey's type of breed is banned in their new country. So let's talk about that for a second. So Bailey is considered a pit bull type dog, and he falls under the bully breeds. Now, in certain countries around the world, and I'm going to read this. In certain countries around the world and different cities across Canada, there is BSL legislation. So, BSL essentially stands for breed specific legislation, and BSL is a law that either bans or restricts ownership of certain dogs based on solely their appearance. So, if they look like a type of one of these, if they fall under the bully breeds, they are banned in certain countries, in certain areas, in certain cities across the world. So unfortunately, Bailey's breed is considered a bully breed, and so his owners weren't able to take him with them. So with that being said, they didn't know what to do. Their flight was in a few hours, so I got a phone call, and my friend was hysterical. And they said, "We don't know what to do. We can't take him, and we're stuck." They were obviously so concerned about Bailey, and the number one thing I told them was do not take him to a shelter. Because of his breed, he is at high risk. Breeds like Bailey's are sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of the times not favored, and they have a shorter deadline. And a lot of dogs across North America, and I'm sure the world, are euthanized just because of their breed. So I said, please don't take him to a shelter. We're going to find an alternate solution. So all day we were trying to find a solution, and somehow someone at the airport who was working at the airport found my friend and told my friend about a boarding facility nearby called Manoir Kenesha. So my friend took Bailey to Manoir Kenesha, told them about the situation, and said, I'm going to board my dog here until further notice. And that's what they did. So they called me up and said, okay, Bailey is now at Manoir Kenesha, and until we figure out something long term, that's where he's going to stay. So I said, okay, you get on the plane, but before you do, I need you to legally give me rights over Bailey, so when I figure out a long-term solution, I can make that decision officially for him. So they trusted me. They surrendered Bailey to me, so Bailey became my dog. And this is how I got even more so invested in his journey. So in the meantime, I was reaching out to the dog rescue community, the ones I knew, people I didn't know, and just based on a lot of research I was doing. And it was a little bit challenging because of his breed to find a rescue that was able to, and a rescue that had the capacity to take him in. I knew I wanted to put him in a rescue because I knew he would be a little bit safer that way. And then someone in the dog rescue community mentioned, why don't you find a bully breed specific rescue that would be more inclined in taking him in and would be experienced? And I said, that's a fantastic idea. I don't know why I didn't think about that before. So I started looking that up. While I was looking that up, and while I was reaching out to bully breed specific rescues, I got a call from the same person who told my friend about Manoir Kanisha. Manoir Kanisha had passed along my information to her, and her name is Danya. And Danya contacted me and said, okay, what's going on with Bailey? Like, I'm really concerned. And I said, you know, it's so nice that like you helped us find Manoir Kanisha, and I'm looking at bully breed specific rescues. Do you know of any good ones? I've found a few. And it was just really interesting, and a coincidence or fate, or it was just meant to be and the stars were aligning. But she mentioned a rescue that I had already emailed, and that was Lovable Rescue Society out in Vancouver. And she said, I know the owner, so let me talk to her. And I said, well, I just emailed her. So it was very interesting, the timing. Right, so the only thing was Bailey's in Montreal and this rescue's in Surrey, BC. So now it was, how would I transport him there or anywhere where I'd find a rescue that would take him in. So the next day I basically got an email from Kate, the owner at Lovable, and she said, you know, we'd be happy to take Bailey if you figured out how to get him over to us. And I said, Kate, don't worry, I'm going to figure it out. Meanwhile, on social media, I thought I would have to escort Bailey myself. So I'd put out a plea asking for buddy pass. Someone did come through. Thank you to that person. You know who you are. But then I realized I actually didn't have to travel to pick him up. So I gave them the buddy pass back. And I basically called around to various airlines, and I found out that WestJet has no breed legislation. They are not biased or prejudiced against any dog breed, which is great. Yay, WestJet. And Bailey actually qualified under their weight restrictions, so we were good to go. So I called them up. He had to go in cargo, unfortunately, but they assured me that everything is safe and things have drastically changed. The cabin or the cargo is pressurized, and there's temperature control now, and it's actually padded so there's less noise for them. So yeah, I basically arranged his flight, and 4 days later he was on a plane from Montreal to Vancouver. I was tracking his flight the entire time and basically holding my breath. I was extremely worried. I'm not a fan of pet cargo, but WestJet did a great job. And, you know, we were in touch. I was in touch with Manoir Kanisha because they helped transport him to the airport and make sure his crate and everything was prepared nicely. So they did a fantastic job, and they're experts in pet relocation, so definitely check them out. And then WestJet kept in touch with me till the plane took off. And there was a flight delay, so they did notify me, and I was kind of on edge, but they kept in touch with me till the flight took off. And then I tracked his flight, and then when he landed, a volunteer from Lovable picked him up, and I got an update right away saying, you know, he's safe with us, he's good. And then he was basically on his way to his foster dad's house, and he arrived safely, and he had a good night's sleep, and he adjusted very well. So I was getting updates over the next little while he was in foster care, and a little while later I got a message from Kate, the owner, saying, I think the foster is going to actually keep him. I was like, that's fantastic. I would love for it to be a foster fail. And so I was keeping my fingers crossed. In the meantime, I was getting updates here and there, and Bailey was doing great, and he was adjusting well, and he was being spoiled like crazy, which is what every dog should be. And I think it was another week after that when I got the official message saying his foster dad's going to keep him officially and adopt him officially. And so that was probably one of the best days, and it's great. Bailey actually got neutered on last Monday, so poor guy was wearing the cone of shame, but otherwise he's doing very well. He's happy, he's healthy, He's in his forever home. He's got a huge yard. He's got tons of toys. He's being spoiled, lots of love, care, and he's a happy boy.
You like your toys, huh?
See?
Sit. He's a chewer, I told you.
Sit. Oh, good boy. That's a good boy.
Bailey.
So there's so many people I'd like to thank that were a part of Bailey's journey and a part of this rescue mission. Everyone from the dog rescue community that I spoke to that helped connect me to different people, to Manoir Kanisha who took great care of Bailey, and were super supportive of him and the whole situation throughout. And then to Danya, who was our angel at the airport that just came in at the right time. To WestJet, who, they aren't prejudiced against dogs, period. So they're dog lovers, in my opinion. To Danielle, who picked up Bailey from the airport and took him to his foster dad. And to Kate, the owner of Lovable Rescue Society, who gave Bailey his second chance and helped find him his forever home. There are so many people, and it truly takes a village to save a dog. So this is just one example of that. And to those of you that donated, we were able to raise over $1,500, and that covered costs, expenses, his travel, his neutering, and left a little bit over to give to Lovable Rescue Society. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for rallying and for helping me save this sweet, sweet, sweet soul. I will forever be grateful and appreciative of you, and you truly made a difference in this dog's life. So thank you. It's a great outcome all around, and Bailey is happy and healthy and alive, and he's in his forever home. So I am eternally grateful to every single one of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I could not have done this without you. It truly takes a village to save a dog, save one life. And you guys helped me do that. So thank you. Final words. If you can, advocate for dogs. They're innocent beings that just want love and care, and at the end of the day, they're just precious souls, like me and you. So advocate for them, be a voice for the voiceless. If you can do more, foster. And if you want to know more about fostering, watch my other videos. And if you can do more than that, and if you want to adopt a forever family member, then adopt from a shelter, a rescue, because I guarantee you any type of breed you want is sitting there waiting for you. But also know it's a forever commitment. You're not going to discard them, I hope, after a few years. They aren't a toy. They aren't a material thing. They are a soul, and they are a life, and they will love you unconditionally if you treat them right and just give them a little bit of care, and I promise you they'll be your best friend for life. So with that being said, thank you so much again from the bottom of my heart, and thank you for listening to Bailey's story. We saved him, so yay. All right, I will talk to you guys soon, and yeah.